One foggy night, a trucker named John was driving through Arizona on Route 66. The road was empty. His headlights showed a woman standing by the road. She wore a long white dress and her hair was messy. John thought she might need help, so he stopped and asked, "Did you need a ride?" The woman nodded and got into the passenger seat without speaking. John tried to talk her, but she stayed silent. Her dress looked wet, like she had been in a storm. As they drove, the air in the trunk got very cold. John looked over and saw the seat was empty. The door was still locked. Shaken, John stopped at the next gas station and told the attendant what happened. The attendant said, "You're not the first. They say she's a bride who died in a car crash on her wedding night. She's trying to find her groom." To this day, John avoids driving on Route 66 at night. One summer night, in early 1980s, two friends, Mike and Tom, were driving on Client Road after a finishing trip. The road was narrow and dark. Suddenly, they see a headlight behind them. A big truck with a bright light was getting closer fast. Mike speeded up, but the truck stayed close. Tom looked at Beth and said, "What is he doing? He's going to hit us." Mike drove faster, but the truck stayed behind him, its horn blaring. Suddenly, the truck turned onto a side road and vanished. Mike and Tom stopped at the dinner and told their story. The waitress said they were not the first to see the ghost truck. A trucker had died in a crash on a Client Road, and his ghost now chases drivers. Mike and Tom never drove on a Client Road at the night again. In the early 1990s, a young woman named Karen was driving alone on Interstate 5 in California, heading home after visiting friends. It was late and the highway was empty. She stopped at the rest stop to stretch and use the restroom. The rest stop was dimly lit and seemed empty. Karen saw an old van parked nearby and a man inside staring at her. She felt scared and quickly went to the restroom. She heard the van's engine start and hurried back to the car. As she got into her car and locked the doors, the man reached her. He tapped on her windows and asked, "Need some help?" Karen started her car and drove away quickly. She saw the van following her. She called 911, and the dispatcher told her to drive to the next exit, where police would meet her. As she approached the exit, the van suddenly turned and sped off in the opposite direction. The police arrived and took Karen's statement. They said there had been other reports of van stalking women on Interstate 5. A week later, a young woman's body was found at the same rest stop. Karen is still haunted by that night. The rest stop is a reminder of a dangerous and empty highway, and travelers are warned to be careful when stopping alone.